It's not going to be his year, is it? Valtteri Bottas, oh dear. Welcome to my F1 channel. Welcome to Peter on Pole. My name is Peter, in pole position. Let's talk about the worst drivers at the Imola Grand Prix. In third place, I'm going to kick it off with the man I started off the show with Valtteri Bottas. I tell you what, it's more than just a bad weekend for him. It's not going to be his year, is it? I'm worried. I'm very, very concerned. P8 in qualifying, that should never happen under any circumstances. And in the race, I mean, it just went from bad to worse. He DNF'd, did not finish the race at all. And it's just been a horrible weekend. I'm not going to say he was terrible on the track as such, but it's just not been a good weekend. He's one of the worst because I expect better from Valtteri. I even put him as like one of my dark horses in the race, and maybe even a fast lap or whatever. It's just a mess. He needs to get out of his head and rethink and restart his season in the next race. I am worried, and I feel like, I just want some good luck to happen to him. I want something to change his fortunes this season and be in the mix with Max, Lewis, Sergio Perez as well. Which leads me on to number 2, second place, Sergio Perez. And I'm a fan. I like the guy. I want him to do well. But what on earth happened? He started P2. It was a blistering qualifying, by the way. I was waving the Mexican flag. Vamos Checo, as I put on Twitter. I was delighted to see him in P2 in the mix. Mixing it up with Mercedes and Max Verstappen as well. It was going to be a nice little song and dance. But of course, he made a mistake under the safety car. And then he tried to reclaim his places back. And then he got a penalty for that. And it was just like, what is going on, Sergio? You've been driving in Formula 1 for nearly 10 years. And if you think I'm being harsh on him, here's what he had to say post-race. I drove like an idiot. So he said it himself, and I couldn't disagree. Sergio, get your head back on the game again in the next race, and let's see if you do never, ever appear on these bottom 3. I never want to see you here, Sergio. And number 1, first place, the person that was the worst driver of the weekend, I'm going to give it to this guy, because what this gentleman did on Sunday was just truly unacceptable. George Russell, you're in the mud right now. That is absolutely correct. He was a very naughty, naughty, naughty boy. If I'm to believe what I saw, him sort of slapping Valtteri Bottas because of the mistake he made on Valtteri Bottas. Oh, George, you're in big trouble, my friend. And the thing is, his weekend started well. P12 in qualifying. He could have even got into Q3. But nonetheless, P12, very strong stuff for George in the Williams. But in the race, I mean, the guy tries to overtake Valtteri Bottas. He jumps into the wet side of the track. He dips a tyre into the grass. And he loses all kinds of chaos and control. Fair enough. Mistakes happen under these weathering conditions. But to get out of your car and give it the big, give it the big one to Valtteri Bottas as if to say he was trying to kill you, what were you doing? And then you want to slap man in the head as well. After Valtteri comes out of the car and he's winded. He's actually having to take a minute to sit down because he was legit winded. And all George was just on the wickedest hype. Don't forget as well, when Lewis Hamilton had his accident going wide off the track, George Russell, under the blue flags, for some reason just was not letting Lewis get through. And it caused Lewis to do something that, okay, uncharacteristic from Lewis Hamilton. But George, again, just causing problems for the Mercedes team. I'm pretty sure Toto Wolff was not happy about any of that. Listen, I'm throwing all the blame on Mr. George Russell on this one. Like, mistakes can happen. Toto Wolff called it 40-60. Listen, Toto, I think you're giving Bottas a bad rep on this one. I don't see what Bottas did wrong. He was in the racing line. George coming on the outside. He's happy to do, you're allowed to do so, but you have to understand there will be some consequences with doing that. And then wiling out at Valtteri Bottas. I mean, what do you think this is? This isn't the UFC. This isn't WWE. This is Formula 1. Hold yourself accountable. Act with class and some decorum. If I see you here again, George Russell, for such behaviour, you're going in the Hall of Fame. Now I can calm down from George Russell's era. Those were the bottom 3 drivers I had this week. Listen, Alpine, I don't understand why you're acting, what is the deal with Alpine and Renault, yeah? Slow starts to the season. They barely got any points this weekend, and that was just because of penalties going on elsewhere around them. This isn't acceptable from Alpine, and I'm pretty sure Fernando Alonso is not happy, neither is Esteban Ocon. But they've got to sort it out. Whatever the issue is there, they've got to sort it out. Aston Martin, holy smokes. Really? This is what I'm getting from you this year? You need to get it together. The car, as peng as this, does not deserve what you're putting out on track. It's absolutely awful. It's absolutely garbage. I know Vettel had some issues brake-wise at the start of the race. I mean, it's just it's one calamitous thing after another. Lovely looking livery. It does not deserve this. I could say the same thing about Haas. But anyway, those are my bottom 3, ladies and gentlemen. Comment below on who you think the bottom 3 drivers were of the race weekend. I'll tell you what, it was some shenanigans, I'll tell you that much. Imola was quite crazy. So big up to Imola for hosting this Grand Prix yet again. Check out the top 3 drivers of the weekend. With that said, people, lights out.